Good morning. I will now call the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission meeting to order. It's January 13th, 2023. My name is Angie Box. I have the privilege to serve as the chairman of this commission for one more month. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Cox. Please stand and lead us in the invocation and the pledge.
Opportunity to meet. I ask you to bless these great professionals with this agency to work in conservation. I ask you to guide this commission to make decisions that are right and pleasing to you. We lift up Mike Bell for your hand to help him through his medical issues. He's comes out fine on that. We ask you to bless Chip and Katie Sauceman. They've got a new little person coming into the world shortly, a new little sportsman, and we ask you to keep them safe. We ask you to bless our troops wherever they are in the world, and bless our country. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. Okay, this time I want to welcome our guests and visitors. Clarence and Laura Dice. Thank you. Good to see y'all again today. Thank you for the salsa. Jenny Scott, Haywood County General Sessions Judge. Nice to have you. Jacob London, 28th Judicial District. Hello. And Bill Hardigree. Nice to have you, 20th Judicial District. Maxie Maxidon, Jason, Director's dad. Hey, glad you're here. Paul Conley III, Crockett County Judge. Hello, sir. Good to see you. And Christy Hopper from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Great. Glad to have you. All right. With that, I'd like to call on Ms. Danette to do the roll, please. Call the roll.
Jimmy Granberry.
Jimmy, settle down.
I know you don't like Jimmy, but calm down.
Sure.
Danette, can you call the roll?
Yes. Jimmy Granberry. I'm going to just mark him down as here. Tommy Woods, Monty Ballou, Stan Buck,
Here.
Wally Childress, Bill Cox, Chris Devaney, Chip Saltzman, Steve Jones, Brian McLaren, Kent Woods, Hank Wright, Angie Box.
Rough.
Madam Chairman, we have a quorum.
Here. Commissioners, you should have received a copy of the December meeting minutes in your email. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Granberry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, do we have any announcements? I've got a couple, but I'll check with Director Maxidon. Special announcements?
Madam Chair, I do not.
Okay, I'd like to thank Region 1 for setting up the hospitality suite with all our great beverages and snacks. I appreciate that. We really appreciate them. So thank y'all for doing that. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on Colonel Ryder for a presentation of awards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So today, the agency would like to recognize these individuals that provide our mock court training for our newly hired wildlife officers at the Tennessee Wildlife Officers Training Academy. Since the beginning of the agency's academy in 2018, training has been provided to our cadets involving case preparation, courtroom training. This involves investigations, building strong professional relationships, court demeanor, and testifying. Towards the end of the academy, cadets are given the realistic scenarios in which veteran officers act as the hunters. The cadets use the skills they have to learn to complete an investigation and prepare a case file. They then travel to Crockett County, Tennessee for what we call mock court. In mock court, the cadets meet with the prosecutor to go over their cases. Court is called to order. The cadets testify and present evidence. They then go through a rigorous cross-examination by the defense while the judge presides over the hearing. The Crockett County court system has been gracious enough to allow the use of their courtroom for 2 days. It would not be possible without the help of the group of individuals we are recognizing here today. They give us 2 days plus their preparation time out of their busy schedule to provide a realistic courtroom experience. During the mock court hearings, the judges and the prosecutors often call time out in order for them to explain a point of law or to give the cadets advice. We'd also like to thank the support of Vic Ivey, who is the chief prosecutor for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Jackson, Tennessee, and District Attorney Frederick Agee of the 28th Judicial District. They both allow their attorneys time to help the agency with this training. Judge Paul Conley III. Judge Conley is a Crockett County General Sessions judge. Since the beginning of our academy, he has helped provide information and given advice for some of the lesson plans for the criminal justice classes that we teach. He also participated in the making of a training video that is shown to the cadets. For the past 4 years, he has heard the mock court cases. Judge, if you mind, we got a plaque, a small token of our appreciation for your efforts. If you don't mind, you can stand up here. We'll get everybody up here. Judge Jennifer Scott. Judge Scott was a former attorney for the 28th District Attorney's Child Support Office. She was appointed General Sessions Judge in Haywood County when the former judge retired. She was appointed this General Sessions Judge for Haywood County last fall. When asked if she would be willing to help with mock court, she agreed without hesitation. She spent a full day this past October hearing cases. She has already asked if she could help next time. Judge Scott? Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Hopper. Attorney Hopper was an assistant district attorney for the 28th Judicial District before going to work as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Western District of Tennessee. Ms. Hopper has been assisting with mock court since our academy began. She acts as a defense attorney where she has the reputation of giving a very thorough and tough cross-examination. She also travels to the academy each year to talk to the cadets about the federal court system, the importance of making good cases and putting together a detailed case file. Not only does she spend several hours training our cadets, but she also answers questions and gives advice to our officers on a regular basis. Ms. Hopper. Assistant District Attorney Bill Hardigree. Attorney Hardigree is an assistant district attorney for the 28th Judicial District. He regularly prosecutes our officers' cases in court. He is also an avid hunter. This past year was his second time to help with mock court. He is one of our prosecutors this year, where he spent 2 days training our cadets. Attorney Hardigree. Assistant District Attorney Jacob London. Attorney London is Assistant District Attorney for the 28th Judicial District. This is his first year to help with mock court. He was very eager to help and spent 2 days helping with the training of our cadets. He commented on how much he enjoyed helping and how much he learned from being one of the prosecutors. Attorney London. Y'all want some mic time? Come on. You get enough of that already. Y'all want to say anything? Come on, Judge.
I'll just say just a little. Robert Shannon came to me 4 or 5 years ago and asked for my help. We did a video.
I've never seen it, and I'm glad. I'm afraid what I did to own it, but it's been used. Then he came back with the proposal, maybe we do a mock trial, which I thought was a good idea. It started out was going to last a day. That ended up being 2. The trials are supposed to last 15, 20 minutes, thanks to Ms. Hopper, last an hour, because they really get into, which your officer gets some great training. They really learn what it is to be cross-examined, how easy it is to get tripped up by a good attorney, and she does a great job of that. So we've really enjoyed doing it. It's worth it just to get Robert Shannon's wife chocolate chip cookies. If you've never had them, get him to bring you some. But I appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate the work that you all do.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, anybody else wants to?
I'm gonna stand back here. I just don't want to get beside him. That's all what I don't want to get beside. Let me get. I do not want. I don't want to stand by you.
Thank you, Judge.
All righty.
May I
Thank
continue,
you,
Madam Chair?
Colonel. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Shikar Safari Club International was founded in 1952 for the purpose of advancing knowledge concerning wildlife of the world, independently in cooperation with zoological societies, universities, and museums. Each year, the club sponsors an award for the Wildlife Officer of the Year in all 50 states and in 10 Canadian provinces. Shikar Safari Club has been a great partner to the agency by graciously donating monies for our elk program, along with funding to acquire mounted wildlife to be used in law enforcement efforts. This annual award from the conservation-based organization honors the officers whose efforts during the year show outstanding performance and achievement among TWRA law enforcement personnel. The Boating and Law Enforcement Division, on behalf of the agency, would like to recognize Officer Michael Cavins as Tennessee's selection for the Shikar Safari Officer of the Year recipient for 2022. Come on up, Michael, if you don't mind. So Michael is he's born and raised Claiborne County. He has spent 10 years service for Claiborne County. I asked him today, this is his first time west of the Tennessee River. So it tells you where his home is. He's well known in the community as someone with great integrity, honesty, fair in his law enforcement efforts, and always ready to assist the public when called upon. Officer Cavins works closely with the Claiborne County school system, conducting several programs through the year, attended by more than 270 students. This year, he was involved in Farm Bureau Day in both Claiborne and Hancock counties, hosting over 1,100 students at an information booth. He also helped with the NWTF Federation Jake's Day event in Campbell County. He participated with Shop with a Cop event in Scott County. He taught 200 education and voter education classes, utilizing the training classroom at the County Justice Center. He participated in 4 enforcement details on the North Cumberland Wildlife Management Area in District 41, checking 72 riders for compliance with regulations. Officer Cavins, through a strong working relationship with a prominent landowner and dairy farmer in Powell Valley, initiated a public dove hunt through TWRA's Leased Dove Fields program. Additionally, he serves on the Cumberland Gap High School Advisory Career Development Committee, where he advises on potential training and classes that may be added to the school system curriculum to best prepare a student for a career in the wildlife management field. Officer Cavins inspected 233 hunters and boaters this year for compliance with the wildlife and boating laws, issuing 76 citations and warnings. He also assisted fellow officers with 44 additional citations. He made 30 cases involving big game violations. On one case, he was contacted by a local law enforcement agency concerning a traffic stop they conducted, during which several boxes of poisonous snakes were discovered. He was able to seize the snakes, successfully prosecute the individuals, in addition to having the poisonous snakes declared contraband and turned over to the Knoxville Zoo. Further, Officer Cavins investigated a fatal boating accident involving a man from Florida on Norris Reservoir. Although the family had suffered a tragedy at the time, they later wrote a letter of thanks to Officer Cavins for how he handled the situation and cared for their needs during their time of crisis. Last deer season, he received a frantic call from a father whose son had gone deer hunting and was badly injured from a falling tree while in the woods. While the hunter was unable to walk out of the woods, he was able to call his father on the cell phone and give directions to his location before his cell phone died. Officer Cavins was very familiar with the remote area the victim was hunting, and in retrospect was able to direct and transport rescue personnel to the location. While on scene, he also assisted rescue personnel as they were able to load the victim in Officer Cavins' truck and transport him to a waiting air medevac unit. The young man's father credited Michael with saving his son's life in a local newspaper article. I'd like to thank Michael's supervision, Major Sally Hammonds, Captain Willard Perryman, and Lieutenant Andy Collins. Officer Cavins is commended for his service not only to Tennessee's hunters, anglers, and boaters, but also to his community. Congratulations, Michael. Miss Payne. Miss Payne. Come here. Go up front. Don't let him leave. I'm not setting this back here for him. Hey, you don't have to wait till you win this again to come back to West Tennessee. The Southeastern Association of Fish and Wildlife Agency, other known as SEFWA, is comprised of 16 member states in the Southeast. Each year, every state member selects their law enforcement officer of the year who attends SEFWA's annual conference, representing the respective state. These officers are selected for their teamwork and public outreach, excellence in innovation, attitude and leadership, and achievements and accomplishments. The Boating and Law Enforcement Division, on behalf of the agency, would like to recognize Officer Hunter Daniels as Tennessee's selection for the Southeastern Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies. Come on up, Hunter. Come on. A lot of tall people today. Hunter's from Region 2, District 21, and assigned to Wilson County. Hunter not only works well with other officers in his district, but also with local WMA managers and part-time boating officers. He puts together details with district officers working during duck season to ensure their enforcement efforts on Old Hickory WMA. He also assists with ideas and planning on district-wide events to promote morale and team building. He committed time to several school events, youth hunts, wildlife education classes, and fishing events. He has reached over 800 elementary-age children. He planned and participated in 3 school events where he presented information on job opportunities for TWRA, speaking to over 2,700 students. He worked the law enforcement booth at the NWTF show, speaking to 500 hunters. He planned and led 2 youth duck hunts in February and participated in 1 youth turkey hunt in April. He taught on multiple occasions at the Andrew Jackson Fraternal Order of Police Camp, reaching over 200 inner city kids from Lebanon and Nashville. Hunter taught these kids about native wildlife in Tennessee, fishing and hunting skills, as well as environmental concerns facing wildlife. He also participated in 1 TV interview, 1 fishing event with 50 kids, and the TWRA booth at the Wilson County Boat Expo. After recognizing the need for wood duck boxes on Old Hickory WMA, he coordinated with Delta Waterfowl, Beretta, and Facebook to raise money for the construction materials. He then implemented a 4-year plan that incorporates a Lebanon High School carpentry class to provide 200 wood duck boxes for Old Hickory WMA. On 1 case he had involving legal hunting, he used phone and residential search warrants to prosecute the individual that resulted in several $1,000s of restitution and multiple years of revocation. In another similar case, he also prosecuted an individual for illegal hunting in several counties in this area, resulting in 5 years of revoked privileges and $750 in restitution to the state. This past duck season, he took on the responsibility of brushing blinds on Old Hickory WMA. These blinds in particular were the ones that he knew the successful applicants wouldn't be able to have brushed their blinds in the appropriate time window. He attended AIRIDE training, instructor development training, and social media training. He was also chosen to take the solo officer rapid deployment training, and he also became an instructor in this course. Additionally, he attended advanced law enforcement rapid response training and interview and interrogation instructor certification courses. He wrote a total of 40 citations, had 24 citation assists, 32 warnings, 81 verbal warnings. He performed 1,079 boating checks, resulting in 6 arrests for boating under the influence. He was a primary officer on 4 boating incident investigations, and he assisted on 3 additional incidents, all of which included fatalities. Thanks to Hunter's supervision, Major Jess Skelton, Captain Matt Bryan, and Lieutenant Eric Anderson. Officer Daniel's positive attitude and willingness to learn are qualities that make him an excellent officer and a great asset to the agency and to the hunters, anglers, and boaters in Tennessee. Congratulations, Hunter. Yes, sir. Thank you.
This is probably one of my very favorite things that we do. I love hearing all the stories and the dedication and the incredible employees we have. Incredible. So thank you. I appreciate that. It's wonderful. Let's see. We are going to now move to budget. I'm going to call on Chairman Cox. If you're ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioner Cox. The Biodiversity Division has 3 budget expansion requests
These were presented yesterday during the budget committee and passed. We present them here today for full approval by the commission.
Madam Chairman, the Budget Committee recommended approval of $45,000 for the Pearlymussel, $80,000 for Bluemask Darter, and $100,000 for Harms Mill Dam removal. And I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
We're going to pause for just 1 second. Frank Fiss, I'm sorry. We have a special guest with us here today. Ms. Marcia Blackburn.
Madam Chairman, thank you for letting us know you all were here. The mayor and I are doing a county meeting here. Every year I visit with each of our 95 counties. And so we started our 95 county tour yesterday, and we're here today. We've just been over at the farms to do a breakfast with a group. And so the mayor and I are going to do a meeting here, and then we're going to scoot on over to Lake County. We'll be in West Tennessee today. But when Angie called and said that y'all were going to be here, I said, this is a great opportunity to say thank you to you and your board for the work you do, to say thank you to the officers and agents who make certain that Tennessee is a great place, that people can come and enjoy the wonderful outdoors. And thank you to all of you for what you do for conservation efforts for our state. It is tremendously appreciated. And we look forward to continuing to work with you, with the work that we do, that Senator Haggerty and I do there in the Senate. And of course, we work with our state and local partners on all of these issues regularly. So keep up the great work. It is so good to see you all, and have a productive meeting and a very productive 2023. Thank you.
Appreciate her coming to visit. That was very nice. Hi, Jeff Parrish. Thank you so much. All right, goody. It's always fun to have special guests. Okay. We're going to go back to Frank Fish. Come on to the front, please.
All right, good morning, commissioners. These are the two budget expansions that passed through the R3 committee, and today I'm asking the budget committee for their approval.
Madam Chairman, the Budget Committee met and recommended approval of the Doe Mountain Shooting Complex for $315,000 and $1,185,000, and the Montgomery County Shooting Complex for the $315,000, $150,000, and $1,085,000. And I put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second that, Madam Chairman.
Okay, second by Commissioner Granberry. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, do I have a, all in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried.
Yesterday, I also advised the budget committee that we are going to follow state law to move funds into the Lifetime Sportsman Endowment Fund, and also seek changes to law to allow the future sales of lifetime license to be used as operating funds. And if the committee would want to comment on that, we could do that.
Whether we need action or not, I'd like for the commission to take action on it. The Budget Committee recommended, and I move approval to move this money from Lifetime License Endowment Fund to the trust and recommend pursuing change in the legislative change to accomplish the goal.
Second.
Okay, have a motion, second from Commissioner Butt.
I have a question real quick.
Any, yes, discussion.
Frank, two questions, just for the record. The 69 is, according to Ken's presentation, that there's a couple $1 million discrepancy, but your numbers were back in November, Ken, on your report yesterday. So if you could just let us know what the exact number you transfer in to that fund at the appropriate time. When that happens, that'd be good information. On the second part, I know y'all are working on the drafting of the legislation to take control of the lifetime license sales, but is it going to be drafted in such a way that if we don't need the money, we can then put those dollars into the $69 million and that continues to grow so you keep up with inflation? I know that's a tricky mechanism, and hopefully our revenues will continue to grow and we won't need to use all of that, but that would be something to consider.
We would certainly have the option to not spend the money. We could hold it in a fund. Now, whether or not we could commingle it with that trust is a specific thing I'd have to look into.
Okay.
But we wouldn't have, this gives us the option to spend it. It doesn't mean we have to spend it. If we have an opportunity to put money in a reserve, we could do that.
But you're not sure if you can commingle it with the trust?
I'm not sure about that today.
Well, as the legislation works its way through, would you let us know how that works out?
And we could certainly, if that was the wish of the commission, we could maybe write that in.
I think that's up to staff to determine, but it just needs to keep up with inflation. We don't want that $69 million in 20 years to be a lot less in value, in theory. Okay, thanks.
I'd like to comment on, while I think all the options to manage this money is certainly something that we would want, I don't see the wisdom in putting money that we might need for operations that we don't need 1 year, we might need in 2 years into a trust that we cannot get it back except for the interest. And actually, Commissioner Granberry, you had a good suggestion. I think it was you. We could use part of the return on that endowment and leave a small percentage in there to take care of inflation. So it would,
one way or the other, I just think it needs to be looked at. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
One way or the other. But I just think you need the flexibility is all I'm
Right.
saying. Not that you would do it, you want the flexibility. Because an irrevocable trust is pretty
Are we,
irrevocable.
I think we've already,
You vote?
have we voted on that? I thought we did, didn't we?
No.
All right. Angie, I got a motion to second.
A motion, a second as presented.
Could make a second.
Stand by.
Okay. So you just take a vote.
Okay. Okay. The second was made by Stan, but okay. We got a discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right.
That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to call on Chairman Tommy Woods
All right,
for
thank
the Legacy Award nominations.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As always, again, this year, we had some great nominees, and I'd like to take just a moment to touch on each one of them. Of my time on the commission, I've had the privilege of meeting all of the nominees, Terry and Jane Lewis, the Cumberland WMA, Hatfield Knob. For many years, Terry used his own equipment and actually bought seed and fertilizer to help the agency upkeep Hatfield Knob. And, behind every good man, there's a good woman or better woman. And that would be Jane. I've had the privilege of meeting those folks. They're top-notch folks. And And they want everyone to come up and see the elk. They don't do it for personal gain. They don't do it so they can view the elk. They do it where everyone can view the elk. Former Commissioner Tony Sanders, what a guy. Privileged to serve with him. Has some others on the commission served with Tony. Any man that gets up 4 o'clock every Saturday morning to do an outdoor radio show really loves the outdoors. And his show's entertaining, and he's always helping the youth, helping the agency any way he can. So kudos to former Commissioner Sanders. And Anthony Landers, I had the privilege of meeting him at a few meetings, and I try to catch his show on Facebook, and what a tremendous asset to the agency. Always willing to give us airtime and stand up for us, and then have discussion on his shows that ultimately benefits the agency and the sportsmen and women throughout the state. And then there's Earl. Earl's been a leader in the boating industry in the state of Tennessee for many, many years. And his contribution to the agency, to the foundation, I think he founded the foundation, and just for overall betterment of the outdoors in the state of Tennessee. And the boat factories, he could have took those and went to any state and got concessions and built them cheaper, but he has always done his business in the state of Tennessee. So myself, Commissioner Wright, and Chris, we met last night, and we chose Mr. Bentz, Earl Bentz, for this year's Legacy Award. And so he will be notified, and hopefully we'll have him at the February meeting next month. Thank you. Back to you, Madam.
Thank you, Chairman Woods. Congratulations to all the nominees. Very special to be honored, and we appreciate all the work they do for Tennessee. I believe we have to have a motion and a second to.
I make a motion that we nominate Earl Bentz for the 2022 or 23 Legacy Award.
Second, Commissioner Woods. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Comment right quick.
yes, sure.
There are so many people across this state that deserve a legacy award, and I won't be on commission next time you all make this decision, but I think it would be great to take another look at the way the award is presented and maybe come up with a scenario where you're picking a legacy award winner from each of the grand divisions of the state or from the districts or something like that, because there's so many people out there that are working in hunter education, that are doing things every day to make the outdoors more accessible and enjoyable by our citizens. And I'm just going to throw that out there, and maybe somebody can look at it next year.
That's a great recommendation. Thank you, Commissioner Jones. It's a great recommendation. It's hard to select every year one of them because they're all very qualified individuals that dedicate a lot of their time to Tennessee. So
I agree.
I agree. So you got some homework to do next year.
Sure do.
All right. So we have a motion for Earl Bentz as Legacy Award winner. We have a second. Second to Tommy Woods. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carried. This time we have another special guest. What a day. Senator Ed Jackson is here. How are you? Want to come say hi? You want to come have any words? Speak? This is great. What a fun day. Who else is going to be here? Marshall Black.
Thank you, Chairwoman Box, and
thank you for having your meetings here. This is great. Come to West Tennessee. Happens to be one of the counties in my district, and appreciate the work that the TWRA does for wildlife and wildlife preservation in the state of Tennessee. And Wally is a good friend, Wally and Childress, so we're appreciate the work that you're doing. So, but anyway, thank you. It's good to see everyone here. I like to come to this meeting and just say hello each time that you're here. So thank you very much. Could I say one other thing? Y'all got a really good person working with you now too, with former Senator Mike Bell. Mike is one of my closest friends in the Senate, and he came to work for you guys, and you've got the best. He is one of the very, very best. So thanks, Mike, for the work that he's doing.
Thank you so much, Senator Jackson. All right. This is moving fast. Okay, I'm going to move to the Special Nominating Committee. I'm going to call on Chairman Bill Cox.
Madam Chairman, the nominating committee has had some discussions, but we're going to make our recommendation in February. So we'll do that on Friday of the February meeting. All the checks hadn't cleared yet, so we'll see. Just a joke, y'all, just a joke.
All righty, thank you so much. So we'll move that table it for next month. Okay, I believe that is it. Do we have any other announcements? Is this record time for a meeting, 45 minutes? Any announcements from the director? Okay, all right, well, great, I guess. Okay, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All right, second? All right. We're adjourned.